Hello guys, so in this video I will show you how to farm nanites in No Man's Sky. So the main issue to farm nanites is to actually find the resource. The resource is called the Curious Deposit and it's a 3-star golden ray resource. So there is actually no way to find it outside the planets, so when you're in space to track it. So you have to go on each planet and use your analysis visor. In your analysis visor, it will show up as a 3-star icon, gold. And if it's not Curious Deposit, if it's any other type of rare resources, even a 1-star or 2-star, it means that on that planet there will not be any other type of rare resource other than the one you just found. So in this video, I find the Curious Deposit on the planet and then I proceed to show you how to build the farm to get nanites, so to farm nanites over and over again. Okay, so enjoy the video, and if you like, as usual, ring the bell and click the button. Okay, thank you very much. Enjoy. Curious Deposit. So guys, we are finally here. So there is Curious Deposit. What? There. Okay, so in this planet there is Curious Deposit. So this means, yeah, okay. So these are Curious Deposit, these sort of bowls that you see here. Not these ones, not this one, not this one. So 1, 2, not sure. Maybe this one as well. So what happens now? These are not Curious Deposit. So what happens now is that if you try to mine this, they will roll away. So when you want to farm Curious Deposit, what you do, you basically build a base near the deposit without possibly touching it, because as you can see, I just touched that ball and it started like running away. Is this a player? Tell me it's not a player. Because if it's a player, I need to put my base computer straight away. Okay. Probably it was an NPC. But anyway, so you basically claim the spot, putting a base computer near the Curious Deposit, not too much near it, because the base computer has a wide area that basically it will be sort of your base area, and no one can build anything on it except you or the people, if you go there, because you can give right to your base to other people. So once you build the computer base and the base, first suggestion is to rename the base rename the base with some name that reminds you why you build that base. So for example, curious deposit base. Okay. Then what you do, you simply build walls around the curious deposit, around this sort of bolts. Of course, now must be the storm, but it's fine. So we are gonna bring up the build menu. You can choose between the type of build you have. You have unlocked on the anomaly. Let's choose. So we cannot choose this one because this one are pre-built room. You need walls that you can just place there. Okay. So for example, let's do this type of wall. Oh wow, I don't have carbon, that's amazing. But there is plenty of carbon in here. So I have to pay attention not to touch the bolts of curious deposit. Okay, so let's bring up the menu. You don't need to do some fancy stuff. You just need to literally put a wall around the deposit. This is because this kind of bolts will respawn, of course. Carbon. Why it say unidentified plant? So this also means that in this planet you can find other curious deposits. So you can put other bases, and when you need to farm the nanites, you just come here with the portal. You build the portal, you come here and just farm everything. So I could remove this, but probably it will respawn anyway. So I'll keep doing the wall. So now I'm trying to get all the carbon I can and trying to build a sort of fence around these things. Okay. So this is it. As you can see, I'm not sure why I have that part like that, but it's fine. Probably because I turned the wall. Just I got a different piece, but it's fine. Anyway, after you have built the sort of fence, you are done. Now what you can do, you can basically mine these. So you go in the mines, and as you can see, they will roll away, and they will give you runaway mold. If they don't roll away, it's even better. Let's remove all this stuff. I also need the hydrogen. Oops. Of course, carbon. What? Oh, okay. Carbon as well. Perfect. So now what you can do in these cases is you can just go around the planet and try to find another curious deposit, which you should find, and build another base there. So that in this way, when you know that when you come here in this planet, you just need to go through all your bases and farm all the curious deposit. The curious deposit will give you mold, runaway mold. They also have here. Where is my ship? Then what you do, you put the runaway mold into the refiner, and it will turn the runaway mold into nanites. And that's how you farm nanites. So now the second thing to do when you after you have built the fence, of course they will pop here back. Now I don't know, we can try this. I don't know if you can just save by entering and exiting the ship, then log out and log back in, and you see the curious deposit respawn. But in any case, what you need to do is you need to build a portal in your base, so that wherever you are either in a space station on your freighter, you can actually come back here right away. Okay, so that's more runaway mold. Now I have 2520 runaway mold. I'll put this in the refiner, and you get nanite clusters. Once you have done all the refining process, you just put these in your bag, and they will not go and occupy a slot. They will go straight away into your nanites overall amount. Okay. So while it's doing that, let's build a portal. So to build a portal, you don't need only the portal itself, which is this one, base teleport module. All these things you can unlock and purchase all these things on the anomaly, but you also need electricity because the portal works only with electricity. So you have to go to the electricity part, the power and industry part. You just need the solar panel, the wiring. I think the wiring is the base. You always have the blueprint of the wiring, but anyway, everything is unlocked on the anomaly. If you don't, if you find that you are missing pieces here in this menu, you just go on the anomaly and unlock them either with salvage data as currency or with nanites. So you need the solar panel, the electric wiring, and the battery. Okay, because you need the solar power to get electricity from the sun and store it into the battery, so you don't waste electricity. And then attach the battery to the portal, so the portal is always active, basically. So you start with the solar panels. Maybe you can put something like something like this. So you have a plain, a flat space. Then you can use the stairs and put them like this. Okay, so let's go. First the solar panels. I miss gold. Okay, that shouldn't be a problem. First I remembered I had gold in here, but evidently I do not. So okay, can I summon the other ship and check? What's this one? So let's summon the other ship a second, because I need to check if I have like gold in here. Okay, this is not the one I wanted to summon, but it's fine. It doesn't have it. Can I just summon all my ship? Wow. So I don't want this, I don't want this, I want this, not this, this. So this is something they changed because before you couldn't summon all your ships like that. Okay, so I have gold here. Nice, very nice. I have gold, I have platinum. Okay. Do I have space? I leave the tritium. Now I enter again in my ship, in the living ship, so it will automatically make it my primary ship. Otherwise, yeah. Is this okay? So this is finished. So I have made 504 nanite clusters. Okay, I have 2,959 nanites. So 2,959. I put this in my exosuite. And from 2,959 I go to 3,463. And this is basically how you farm nanites. So now to go back to the process of establishing a base, this is standard for every base you have to build, because you want to be able to, I mean, if you put a base, there is a reason. So either it's your main base, or you are farming something, or you want to come back to it. Everywhere you are, you want to be free to travel around the universe of Nome Sky and then come back in on all your bases. So let's put the panels. So you want, usually what you want to do, you want to put like 3 or 4. I would say even only 3 is fine. Now, as you can see, they are closed because there is no sun. So I will go with 3. You can also move them if you want. You use the bottom command, edit placed parts. So you can duplicate colors, move. So if I want to move, I go like this. To move, I do like this. So they are not all attached to each other. Now the second thing to build is the battery. So the batteries, as you can see, require magnetized ferrite and condensed carbon. So you put the battery somewhere that is then accessible to your portal. For example, here. And then what you do, you use the electrical wiring and you connect the solar panel to the battery. Now, usually what I do, I connect each solar battery to the solar panel to the battery, separated, but you can also connect each solar panel to the other and the last one to the battery. I'm not sure if this works well, or if you are only extracting electricity from the last solar panel. But if you want to be safe, you just connect like this each battery to a different port, each solar panel to a different port of the battery. You need a free, so 3 would be enough. You need a free slot because you need to connect the battery to the portal. Okay, so of course now the battery is empty and the solar panel are closed because it's night, so there is no sun. So now you build the portal. The portal requires metal plating 4, carbon nanotubes 2, and 40 sodium. So yeah, I could put the portal just here, and then I can use the electric wiring to go from here to here, and that's it. That's the bare minimum for a base, okay? So you have your portal to come back, and to make a portal you need this stuff. You can also just make the solar panels connected to the portal, but basically what will happen is the solar panel does not store electricity. So it will happen that during the night your portal will be offline and it cannot be used. So if it's night you cannot come in this planet, which is bad. Yeah. So let's move on from here. So now what we can do, we can try to save the game by entering and exiting the ship, restore point save. Then we can try to log out, quit to mode select, yes, and log back in. When we log back in, we can see if it's respawned. If it's not, it means that there is a sort of global cooldown for which the rare resources respawn, so they will respawn in time, but not straight away. Okay. So yeah, as you can see, the curious deposit have respawned. So I can literally just log out, log back in, and keep doing that to farm nanites. I don't even need to go to other bases in the planet. Okay, so it's as soon as you find one cluster of curious deposit, it's done. You have your nanite farm ready, you know. So you put the mining beam, and again you go here, you farm the curious deposit. And then you put your so from 4 curious deposit I got out 2358 runaway mold, which means, let's see, which means 471 nanite clusters. Okay, so we have our farm. You can also, the base area is very large, so you can also just start building stuff in here, put buildings, whatever. So near your cluster curious deposit farm or nanites farm, you have other stuff. You can put I don't know, plants farm or something else, or just building with the NPCs. Oh no. this planet there is also silver deposit, copper, so you can, this is a resource for chromatic metal. Copper is, you can turn copper in chromatic metal. Pyrite, silver. That's nice. Of course there is storm, but that's fine. So at this point you don't really need to look for other curious deposits, but if you want you can build other bases on this planet. If you don't like to, you know, some people don't like, it kind of ruin the atmosphere of the game to just log out and log back in, because you can do it once or twice, but then you have to do it like when you have to do it like 10-20 times, it kind of sucks, you know. But then you will have a lot of nanites at least, so it's your choice.